All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Welcome to the New Africa, and we are going to talk once again about Africa, especially the western part of Africa, the French speaking part of Africa. We have actually made a lot of progress when you compare what is going on this year. I mean, these last 2 3 years, as compared to what was called the culture, okay, of the French-speaking countries. I mean, in 5 10 years ago, while there has been a lot of changes, okay. Back in the days, okay, for an African, a French-speaking country, okay, a president of a French-speaking country in Africa to be recognized as a president, it needs to be, I mean, received in Élysée in Paris. Okay, have a discussion with the French president. Nobody knows what the French president tells him, what instruction, I mean, what type of instruction he gives to the the French-speaking country in Africa's president. Okay, that's the only way that a president in Africa, even a candidate, okay, a candidate of a presidential election to be recognized as a true candidate, he needs to have the blessing of Paris. Okay, he needs to have the blessing of Paris. Let me speak like English people. The blessings of Paris. Okay, so these days are gone. These days are gone. We still have presidents, okay, still in the French-speaking country of West Africa, who were selected by Paris, who were selected by the French government, who are still in power, who have modified their constitution in order to die on power, but the whole world is not talking about it. The Western part is not talking about it. I don't want to mention any name because I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. Okay. So the whole world is not talking about them. Okay. But let's wait and see if a military coup happen in those countries and these presidents are removed from power. You see the whole world shouting democracy has been paused, as if there used to be democracy in these countries before. There's nothing like democracy in those countries. Nothing. Those people over there were just selected. Okay. Those people over there were just selected. What I would like to talk about today is about France again. You see, France has that that way is an old way of talking negatively or pointing, okay, the fingers at the French-speaking countries in Africa negatively, talking about them in a condescending way, okay, telling everybody they are poor countries, telling everybody France is there to help them, telling everybody that the only reason why France intervene in these countries is to help them with their democracy, to aid them in financial way, and everybody in Africa, in the French-speaking country of Africa, everybody knows that it's not true. Everybody knows. The people are now informed. They know it's not true. France is there because of the raw material. France is there because of their interest. Okay, the truth is, whilst other countries, for instance, if a country like the United States wants to buy something from China, okay, or from France, okay, if the thing that they want to buy from France is actually paid in euro, USA has to use the dollar to purchase some euro in order to be able to buy that particular good, or the USA will use the dollar directly to buy that particular good. Okay, but in France, the relationship between France and Africa, the French-speaking country in Africa, is different. If France want to buy the raw material of Niger, for instance, France already, okay, is the country printing the currency of Niger. And mind you, France does not consume that particular paper called currency, which is the franc CFA. So what France does is only to print those papers that they don't use there. The paper do not have any value in France, and they bring the paper in Niger, and in exchange, of that paper, they just grab the raw materials and go to France. Okay, and even still, the price for that raw material will be very competitive, very cheap, even though France is not really paying. So, in other words, France is not using the euro, which is France currency, to buy those raw material. No, France is just taking them for free. They don't use the CFA. The CFA doesn't have any value to them. So they just print it, come to Africa, take those raw material and go. That's it. So we are telling France, okay, you say you've been helping us for so long and we are ungrateful. Okay, that is what you say all the time. I mean the French government. When I say France, I mean the French government. That is what you've been singing and preaching all the time. That we are ungrateful. You've been helping us, okay? Okay, we don't need your help. In Mali, we tell France. Mali, the government of Mali told France, we don't need you anymore, so leave the country. Burkina Faso told France, we don't need you anymore, leave the country. Niger are telling France, we don't need you anymore, leave the country. We don't need your help anymore. You are claiming to help us. Okay, we don't need your help anymore, leave the country. Okay, we don't want to have any accord with you anymore. France says no, they want to leave. They can't leave. Why, France? They don't want your help. You are helping them according to you, and they don't want your help anymore. Leave. He said, no, you are so generous. France is so generous that France, which is our father, okay, the father of all the African countries, the French-speaking countries, doesn't want to leave his children because, France is supposed to be there to guide them, to help them, to aid them, even though the African countries are saying, we don't need you. Anytime the population in West Africa go out to demonstrate, they go with a lot of signboard saying, France, leave our country, we don't need you there. France believes in democracy. If France believes in democracy, indeed, they will understand and they will actually obey. Okay, they will listen to what the population in West Africa really need from them. But it seems they don't. Democracy does not favor them, and when it doesn't favor them, they don't abide by any rule, any democratic rule. They don't like it. They can't leave because they are helping us. Actually, the truth is they can't leave because if they leave, they will not have access to this raw material. Okay, they will not have cheap or even, they don't even pay. I shouldn't even call it cheap. Okay, they don't have access to all this raw material. So they prefer to die there. They prefer to die in Niger. They prefer to die in Burkina Faso. They prefer to die in Mali because they are dependent in these raw materials, in these resources. They tell the whole world that African country, the French-speaking countries, are dependent on France. France is helping them, okay? Meanwhile, it's the contrary. And when you look at it where you begin to understand, it seems the whole world is kind of playing a game. There is a very big conspiracy against those African countries. The way they are portrayed through the media is not true. It's all about lies. Lying here and there. Alright. So this is a little, video that I wanted to share with you guys, okay? Let you know what is going on in West Africa. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening to me. See you next time. Bye-bye.